Good evening, accident repair industry. We're back live. How about that? It's taken me a couple of weeks, so big apologies. Yes, we had a few technical issues, but they're now fixed again. I found the problem in between being very busy, of course. Anyway, I hope everyone's good. These weeks are going faster and faster, but at the moment we want it to slow down. The weather is absolutely awesome. Can't beat it. I love the hot weather, so it's never hot enough for me. But usually this used to happen. It used to slow our industry down, but I don't think it does anymore. And again, so busy. I'm pretty sure most people out there are. And I wanted to touch on something Anthony Hurd said actually about the capacity issues. He said something in a video this week about capacity issues. Are there capacity issues? Good point. A lot of people are absolutely rammed, so full. But again, is all the work being diluted to certain repair centres? And that's why. So again, something, guys, you know, we're here, the social network for independent vehicle repairers, is to share knowledge, bring us together. So I know everyone else is probably sat in the garden, and I don't blame you, of course. I'm going to keep it short today because of the heat myself. I'm in here sweating away. But I just wanted to bring on a few important factors tonight. So I want to hear from you guys. Are you busy? Is there a capacity issue? And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing from if you're not busy, because I'm coming to the conclusion, or we've come to the conclusion, that being too busy is bad. And I'll tell you why it's bad. Because we ended up being so busy and so crammed, we were spending more time moving vehicles around than repairing cars. So we've had to be very careful in what we're taking on now, because immovable cars can't get parts. It's really, you know, making this industry quite challenging. So if you have space, you're probably doing something right. We've decided that we're actually going to repair our own vehicles for sale. Look what's just happened to Kazoo, of course. So we can make more money in our industry by repairing cars, and I believe every repair centre should buy and sell some cars, because it's you're probably going to make more money from doing that than actually repairing cars, which is quite sad. That, of course, leads me on to, please get in touch, by the way, and let me know about your repairing issues. Do you have space? Do you have courtesy cars sat there? Just let us know. I'm just interested. But that leads us on to quite a sad thing again this week. I know Anthony Hurd again was mentioning quite a lot about repair centres that are going bust. I said last week, you know, does anybody know of any? But yes, we do. There's been a very large repair centre went bust, I believe, last week, which is Auto Crash Repairs in Bedford. Very large site. I believe the property alone is up for sale for 2.2 million. But what a sad story. They've been there for 50 years. Very sad. Another one bites the dust, which is horrible. How vulnerable are we all? I really would like to have spoken to the owners, just to find out a little bit about what happened, and you know why they think it fell apart at the end. I'm pretty sure probably not their doing, of course, not if they've been there for 50 years, but COVID and everything else, the effects out there have just been astronomical. So really sad to see another large repair centre gone to the wayside. But that brings me to, is the future groups, is the future about these big repairers? Are us independents going to sit and whittle away? It really does make me wonder, because we just don't seem to want to come together. We don't seem to do enough together, and we're not powerful enough on our own. Maybe it is for the big boys. So maybe we just worry about ourselves, repair a few cars, sell a few cars, keep that old independent way going. I don't know. I'm interested again to know your views, though, guys. And does anyone else know of anyone else that's in trouble, or anyone else that might have disappeared? Because I think it's really relevant that we all know this, because it's touchy times, scary times. This industry's hard enough, and that's just a real saddening time, really. Real shame from me. So again, yeah, please get in touch, guys. Sharing news is obviously key. I want us to share. The website is back up. I will be working a bit more on it to try and bring you more start bringing you better content again. Now we're back up and live because we weren't live for the last 2 weeks. It was pre-recorded, but I had to. Anyhow, yes. So the ABP, we haven't had there. I think they were going to try and post something in June. Has anybody had that yet about the increases? The ABP are going to try and tell everybody what we should be charging. I'm really intrigued to see what they think. And again, I want us to come together to say what we think we should be charging, because I think that's really, really important for me. So again, please get in touch, guys. I'd love to. There's quite a few meetings coming up over the next few weeks. If you see me around at NE, say hello. I'd love to catch up with everybody and find out, have a chat with you at some of these meetings that we'll be going to, because there's lots of little things going on at the moment. The body filler's been floating around all on LinkedIn as well, saying that Outertex doesn't allow body filler. Is everybody charging for body filler? Simple little things, but it can all add up. We are, and some of the contracts that you have only allow you to charge so much. So just little things again to keep bringing up, because everything is never in our favour, of course. Parts, I brought up parts last week. Thanks very much. Someone came in touch with me and dropped me. There's a company called Asian, I think it's called Asian Parts. They're genuine parts, big discounts. It all matters. I'll be calling them this week to see how we get on with those. Is that something that can help us? Can it help you? I'm happy to share news, and I think we should all be sharing news. I did say last week we had a job that we couldn't get the parts for. They were just on permanent back order. We spoke to the customer and said, look, how about if we go for non-genuine parts? They said, fine. So we went to order non-genuine, couldn't get non-genuine. Then we called the customer and said, how about we go for a green part and try and repair your car? We couldn't even get a green part. Is everyone still having the parts problems? Are the parts issues still as bad? I know we've been told we've got one vehicle in today that PPS Cup aren't included either. See, we need to know more and more that's not included. And I think someone needs to go through it with a fine tooth comb, because there's probably more and more that's not included. Thanks for that, Matthew. But yeah, it's every penny matters right now with everything. Sorry, I've just threw off where I was at there. It is warm in this room, so big apologies. But yeah, we need to come together and share more information between ourselves. It's very, very important. There's a lot of shows coming up, so I'd like to see a few people at the shows. Something caught my eye this week. You probably saw a post come from me. Gary Humphreys from Marcus Study piped up saying they're doing all they can for our industry. Are they? I was absolutely shocked. Again, they seem to say they're doing so much for our industry, and they turn to training. They turn to anything they just don't do anything for us repair centres and to help us repair centres, which is quite shocking. If I'm honest, I'm sick to death of hearing people telling us that we're doing something for the industry, and it turns to be they're training people. We need more money in the industry, or we're not going to get people. And again, I'd love to know why auto crash repairs have suffered and sadly closed the doors, because what's caused it? You know, we need to share information between each other to find out what is causing this kind of problem. And we need to fix it. We need to come together. We need to talk more. So, yeah, I'm going to bring you more information over the next few weeks. Big apologies that I lost the show because a few technical errors with my computer, which we've now got fixed again. But I'm sort of arcing on the parts side of things at the moment, because is there a big problem with parts? Is it getting any better, or are we still all struggling for parts? We had a car in, I think it was in the last few weeks actually, that we've been told we can't get the parts until November. Outrageous, I think, but I don't know if it's now the norm. I'd love to hear from you guys, because November for some car parts is frightening. It's absolutely outrageous. That's, where are we now, June? We've got July, August, September, October. Wow, wow, wow. So manufacturers, is it their fault? Is it their problem? Where's the problem coming from? Is it going to get any worse? Because that's what I really think is key here, to tell each other what's going on. Are you having the same problems? I have noticed a lot of people, a lot of videos on LinkedIn this week and last week actually, where people seem to be repairing far more. And I've got to be honest, I've always been if that car's damaged and it needs parts renewing, they should be renewed. Until this year, of course, where we're now suffering with this problem and cars need to be repaired, of course, and we need to put them back on the road. So for now, I agree with everybody. I'm even looking into new techniques myself, because we've got to repair cars. And if we can't get parts like this one now, I mean, this is quite a big job, so there's no way we can repair anything on that. But that car's going to sit there, not even be touched until November. Quite frightening. But what's the future holding? Is this, what happens if more and more car parts become harder to get? Are we going to see more situations like what happened to Auto Crash repairs? We've got to diversify as body shops. As I say, I'm already looking at, we're repairing some cars now. I'm going to start selling some cars. So we've got to free up a bit of time for ourselves. And I'm trying to actually now take a little step back and not be quite as busy as we were, because we've been trying to cram work, because we are so busy. But I don't think that's the key. There's not enough margin in this industry to spend too much time moving cars around your workshops, etc. That costs time and money. We all know we need help from insurers. We all know that the industry needs to change. We all know that prices need to go up, but they're not. So I'm really interested to see what the ABP come out with, because they're supposed to be coming out with a guide. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I will comment on it when I get my hands on it, because I'm really intrigued to see what they come out with. Intrigued to see who decides, these rates are decent or not, because our industry is changing drastically, and we're not going to recognise it in the next few years. So, guys, I'd like to hear from people. I know you're probably all enjoying the sun. I don't blame you. I'm going to do the same as well in a minute. But we need to hear. Matthew, great to have you on tonight. Obviously, I haven't been on for a few weeks, so great to see you there. How about total loss thresholds? Yes, 50% PAV is becoming more common because of the value of the salvage. Matthew, you're exactly right again. And this is something that I actually thought that being green was all about keeping cars on the road. And that's why the green parts was invented, to keep cars on the road. But now I think what it actually means is whatever suits the insurers at the time. And I think they're just writing cars off now because it doesn't suit them and it's going to be costing them too much money. So the green's gone out the window, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody help me, but that's what I thought people were trying to do, is keep the idea of green parts was to recycle parts, keep cars on the road. It's gone out the window. We're writing cars off for nothing. I've got to be honest there, Matthew, this car I'm on about, we can't do anything. It's quite a new car. We can't do anything till November. I'm now sat there thinking, does that customer want their car sat in a yard, can't repair it for 6 months? Or does the insurer now write it off? Again, I will update on that because I think it's an interesting one. We've only found out today that the parts are going to be literally 6 months wait for them. So I'm going to find out, talk to the insurer, talk to the customer, and I'll update you on that because, again, yes, Matthew, PAVs are becoming quite a worry. And especially in the non-fault world, of course, because if there's a car hire involved, it may be more ethical for the insurer to write the car off for the customer. But what if the customer doesn't want that car written off? Just because it's going to take a little bit longer. I don't know. Again, I keep saying this industry is changing drastically, but is it it's the parts that are causing this problem? It's the parts. Is that why they're writing cars off? Because it's definitely not the cost of repairing them, because as we know, we don't get enough to repair them. So it's definitely not that that's a problem. It's got to be the parts that's the problem. But again, Matthew, thanks for that. I'm trying to find out, is everyone having this problem? That's what's writing these cars off. That's what is causing us major mayhem in our industry. Because if we're getting 10 cars in this week and we can't get parts for them all, we've got to get another 10 in. And that's when the cars start to stack up. We start to cram the place out, and then we can't get enough cars in to work on. It's very strange times, and I think you have to be very, very on the ball at the moment. You've got to look at every single job, and the minute you actually estimate it, not like before, we used to just get cars in, crack on with them, no problem. Can't do that now. We really have to look at every single car, otherwise you could get caught out quite badly. And I don't know. I'm trying to. Is it getting better, or are people just going to start repairing more? I think it has to be a big part of it at the moment. I'm looking at new ways, new glue guns, new glue pullers, and all this kind of stuff, because I think we desperately do need to repair more. Where, I was all for replacing new panels, but now replace a new panel, it costs me money. In some cases where, we're having to give out too much parts discount, just not good enough. So the industry's changing madly. I want to hear from people. Is there any issues you've got, anything you're worried about that you'd like to bring up to the show? I'm going to be here every Tuesday again, because now I've got it all working again. We can start talking about some of these issues. And don't forget, if you sign up to Crash Clinic itself, that is back, and I am going to get the app out there. I really want to sort of talk more in depth with people. It is behind the scenes. It's only repairers, and we can actually talk amongst ourselves, and only we can see those discussions. So, guys, if you see me at any of the shows, please say hello, of course. Let's have a catch up. And I'm going to be back every Tuesday now live. I'd like to get some people onto the show. I'd like to hear some issues that are knocking around. I know we're all busy. I'm extremely busy as well, but we must look at the future, because what future are we going to have if we don't look at the sustainability of our industry? I think it's very scary times. I seem to be working harder, longer hours than I worked 30 years ago. I've had this body shop for 33 years, and I'm putting in probably as much time as I did when I started it, because things are really changing. We're trying to look at better ways. Everything is just, I'm now trying to study every contract to say, hold on a minute, let's really look at these. Are they actually worth doing? And I hope you are too, because we should be. But again, is it now? Are we going to see the demise of independent repairers? I don't know. It looks worrying. Really, really sad to hear Auto Crash Repairs Bedford disappearing. Very, nice size body shop. 50 years been there. So real shame when a body shop's been there for so long. And I think it's very sad. Very sad. Hi there, Deepak. Sorry, it's my own fault. The last couple of weeks we've had technical problems. I had a problem with the computer. We have fixed it. We are going to be back now every Tuesday. And the weather's too nice to spend indoors today, though. We don't get much of this. So go and enjoy the sun. Obviously, you can watch this back at any time. I want to hear from you guys. Any sensitive issues? I'm worried about the industry. Very worried about the industry. And that's why I've done this, of course. That's why I'm trying to talk to people, to bring us together. We need to talk. And especially now, a body shop like that's just disappeared again. How are we doing, Deepak? You okay? So, yeah, please, we'll see you next Tuesday. Please bring up any issues. Obviously, the show will get better again now I'm back. And why they shut down, don't know. Great question. I did say earlier I would love to speak to them. I have actually messaged the owner. Don't know if I will hear from him, because I would like to know. It's a real shame after 50 years. Very, very sad. And how many more? Who's next? This is the big question, and this is stuff that is quite sad to have to even mention. But these parts problems could be. There's just too much things to go wrong in a repair centre at the moment, and I think we've all got to be very careful. But then again, I don't want to bring any bad news. We've got to stay positive. We've got to keep battling forward to make things better. But that's why we need to talk, because talking together can make things better. I'll see you next week, and I'll try and bring you some more interesting news, of course. I'll start to send out a few of the polls that I used to put out, because they did bring us some fascinating information, which I think we do need to stay on top of. And drop me a DM and I'll give you some info on them. Fantastic, Matthew. Thanks a lot. And maybe we'll bring that up next week. Appreciate that, guys. But I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, because it's going to be lovely and warm. Enjoy the sun. We'll see you next week. Take care, all. See you soon. Bum, bum. Where's the ending? Let's see. It's been that long. It's a few weeks. We're back, though. See you next week.